Back to the beginning. July 4, 2014. Sometime in May or June of 1995 I began to receive these transmissions from Antares. Greetings. We are from Antares. We have come to communicate with you because you have formed an ancient alliance with us. You did not remember this alliance until the Orion implant was removed. This implant was placed in your etheric field when you were taken prisoner by them. You have served in our legions during many incarnations. You have not been able to recognize this portion of yourself as you have placed it in the darkness and judged it as wrong. Before you can move through the gateway of Arcturus, you must make peace with your warrior. We have asked you if you would be willing to channel information for us. We have messages, which we would like to relay to the people of Earth that are willing to hear. We feel your doubt and fear to put yourself in a vulnerable position. This fear is ungrounded. You are a great warrior. The word warrior in your language means one who is at battle. We translate the word warrior as one who is brave and unafraid of battle. Battle is not the first choice, but it will be taken if necessary. However, we on Antares have resolved the term battle into evolutionary terms instead of devolutionary terms. You are very connected to us because you were a Norseman and as a Celtic. Do you now remember your bravery? We came to your planet in the late 1980s to assist your Gaia as she expands into her higher frequency expression of form. We have been working with humanity's immune system, which has been very taxed by the pollutants within your biosphere. Some of the pollutants were released from Earth and others were a part of a chemical warfare that was occurring in the sky above your planet. The apex of this battle at that time was above your city of Los Angeles. This is why we have come to communicate with you. It is time now for you to open your memory to us. To assist you with this process, we will recount the dream you had on our first meeting. You were in your light body flying above your city. The vibration of your Los Angeles is much like the vibration of Atlantis during its fall. Our commander, Rajulan, a name with which you are familiar, came to greet you. There was a facsimile of a spaceship created for you so that you could feel more comfortable. When you entered the ship, you met with many old friends from past, future, and parallel realities. We are a very dynamic people. Our energies are very different from the Arcturians with whom you have formerly communicated. We are very tall to your Earth standards, about 10 to 12 feet tall. Our skin appears copper in color to you, and we enjoy long hair, much like the Celtic pictures which you have collected. You have taken on a body in this life that carries much of the genetic codings of our people. Your line of heritage is Northern Europe. You felt our energy strongly when you were in Norway and Ireland. You have also taken a Norwegian husband. None of these incidents are accidental. You have been prepared for many lives for this task. Yes, we feel your heart's pull to Arcturus. It is indeed the planet of your ascension. However, at this time of our first meeting, you need to align your energies with our race for the tasks that you are to accomplish. First, you had to come to peace with the warrior within you. It was the final step necessary for the opening of your heart. We have assignments for you that you volunteered for very, very long ago from your measurement of time. Of course, time is not as you would measure from your third-dimensional world. When you have made the transition from duality to unity, you will be living in the now. In fact, we speak to you from the omnipresent now. It is our task to assist you to understand the functioning of the now, so that you do not become confused by the many ensuing changes you are facing. For example, you are becoming someone new at the same time that you are becoming the person that you have always been. You are moving into the future at the same time that you are moving into the past. In no time and no space there is no separation between future, past or new, old. All simply is. As you have learned before, your planet is moving into the is, now and being of the fifth dimension. Feel this isness, nowness, and beingness about you as you communicate with us. We use the word us because we are no longer in duality and no longer perceive ourselves as being separate from each other. Again, when we say no longer, there is an inference of time. It is difficult to communicate in your language without the inference of time or space. One of the techniques that will allow you to expand your consciousness is to communicate with us by using a language free of references to time or space. Within the now, language is not laid out in strings of letters or sounds such as we must now do to communicate with you. The spectrum. Imagine now that we are with you. See our form. Yes, we are very tall by your standards. We have taken on a denser form than we usually wear to facilitate your vision of us. Do you now see two beings standing behind me to my right and my left? They are emanations of myself. All is a spectrum. I am a band of energy. In order to communicate with you, I place my consciousness at a particular vibration upon that spectrum. My wings, which appear to be two other people standing behind me to my right and left, are the bands in my spectrum. Imagine a long ribbon that is elastic. It is anchored at two distinct points. The points of anchoring are the edges of the spectrum. Now these edges are actually an illusion. However, we choose envelopes of operation such as your envelopes of light and sound. At the point within this band or envelope that I place my consciousness, there is a peak of activity that fans out and behind me in both directions from that point of consciousness. Experience yourself now as a point on your spectrum. Put the past at one end and the future at the other end. Now move your consciousness towards the past portion of the spectrum and experience Atlantis. Feel your consciousness moving along the band of the spectrum and view some of the other lives that you have remembered. Your Atlantis life has a niche on the spectrum, as it was the point of your entry into duality. Now realize that this spectrum is actually a circle, as is all life. As you see the band as a circle, you can match up the resonant point of your entry into duality with the point of your exit from duality. As you see this spectrum as a circle, you realize that there is no beginning and no ending, no now and no later, because you can travel around the circle many times. Also, you can go in either direction on the circle. Therefore, you can begin again and again, or end again and again. You, however, are not the point. You are spectrum. The point of your consciousness is just a tool that you can use at this point of your remembering until you can embrace more of your emanations. In actuality, you are the entire circle and can exist in all spaces on the spectrum at the same time. You do not have to learn this process. You need only to remember it. We see in your mind the graph of the light spectrum and the points of it that are visual to a third-dimensional human. That is a good example of what we are saying. Now place that spectrum into a circle by connecting the ends of the spectrum. We ask you to practice expanding that spectrum of visibility until you can see all of it at once. How do you do this? You move to a point of perception above the circle of light. After you have achieved the ability to see the entire circle, practice becoming the circle and moving your point of awareness around it. Releasing the struggle. We see that you struggle with the wounds of your long battle on Earth. Release that struggle now and allow those wounds to heal. Your life shall be calm and simple for a portion of your time so that you can come into a complete healing. Your body is undergoing a great transformation, your emotions are being healed in a deeper level than you ever imagined possible, and your mind is being expanded beyond all of your lives on Earth. Note from Sue. It is interesting that I was guided to read this message now. It has been 19 years since I received this message and I am just beginning to enter the phase that the Antarian is speaking about here. Allow yourself now to enjoy this process. The light will care for your needs. Release that old belief that you have to struggle in order to survive. You will always survive because you are spirit. Spirit is infinite. You are very blessed to be able to have this experience of transformation firsthand. For many lives you have been prepared for this experience. Remember to use your Merkaba. Draw it out and meditation on the drawing. The integration of your higher selves into your current reality will greatly assist you. Finish all that you have begun and be patient. All is proceeding just as it should. Remember, there truly is no time, as you know it. Therefore, there is no impatience. Commander Maltese. Channeled by Suzanne Lee. SuzanneLeePhD.blogspot.com